latest controversy that's erupted around Donald Trump relates to him saying that he is actually taking hydroxychloroquine, the drug that he's talked up so much, and the ridiculous outrage from members of the media that he should take this drug that many doctors around the world are prescribing and where clinical trials are underway, including in Australia.
Yeah, I know. It's just a perfect example of everything that Donald Trump does. The media, the resistance media, we're calling them now, just does their best to drag down and uses more evidence of what an evil miscreant the Orange Man in the White House is. And look, you know, this drug hydrochloroquine, taken prophylactically, with zinc, seems to offer some sort of protection for the virus. Certainly some doctors and nurses are taking it. So I guess what's happened is that Donald Trump's had that advice from medical people, and because he's around a lot of people in the White House, and that virus has been in the White House lately, we've noticed, you know, quite a few people, including the Vice President's PR woman, have come down with it. So it makes sense that he would take that medical advice. And you know, there's nothing, as he says, it's been used for 40 years as a malaria drug. Who cares whether he uses it or not? But then you have Nancy Pelosi, the basically lead Democrat, the Speaker of the House. She comes out, I don't know if you saw this, but
I did,
a few hours ago,
yeah.
And she called him morbidly obese on television to Jake Tapper on CNN. She described the president as morbidly obese. Now, she gets away with that. But anybody else, if any Republican said that about a Democrat, or if Donald Trump, God forbid, said something equally rude and personal about Nancy Pelosi, we'd never hear the end of it.
We wouldn't. We would not, that's for sure. Although I noticed Tucker Carlson on Fox hit back by saying after Nancy Pelosi said that, he said that people in glass faces shouldn't throw stones. Now, just on this, you wrote a great column looking at a couple of issues, but one of the points you made was there are three ways the coronavirus pandemic is helping the Democrats. First, of course, it's killed off the American economy, which was Donald Trump's trump card, if you like. Secondly, it creates the situation for big government socialist interventions after the pandemic. That suits the Democrat agenda. But thirdly, and I thought most pointedly, you said it keeps Joe Biden in the basement, away from proper campaigning.
Yeah, that's right. Look, that's what the Democrats, that's all they have. They're desperate to get rid of Donald Trump, but they have a sleepy guy in a basement who, as well as his cognitive problems, now has a sexual assault allegation coming after him. And, you know, of course, Conservatives always regard, you know, everyone to be innocent before proven guilty, as everybody should, because that's the system of our justice system in America and Australia. But when it comes to, you know, Conservatives like Brett Kavanaugh or Clarence Thomas, all women must be believed. Believe all women was the mantra. And then suddenly now, when Tara Reid comes out of the woodwork, a former staffer for Joe Biden, alleging this 30-year-old sex assault, it's believe Joe Biden. But it still is a problem, because the hypocrisy of the media in their disparate coverage of these cases is now coming back to bite them. They're starting to be embarrassed, and they're having to take this Tara Reid allegation seriously. So Joe Biden is a candidate with so many problems. The only thing the Democrats can pray for is that they can keep him inside his basement, speaking on his teleprompter when he does interviews. He can't even do a friendly interview with CNN or MSNBC without reading from a teleprompter. And we've seen when the teleprompter malfunctions for some reason, he's completely bereft. He cannot finish a sentence. I don't know how he is going to cope on a debate stage against Donald Trump. And so obviously they're going to do whatever they can to keep him away from that debate stage. And in fact, what their plan is to have proxies like President Obama is now coming out strenuously getting involved in the election campaign, advocating for Joe Biden. He's got a lot of proxies, and the big excitement for the Democrats at the moment is who is going to be his vice presidential pick. And he's promised it's going to be a black woman, because, of course, identity politics is all the Democrats have. And so the search is on
The search is on indeed. Now, you mentioned Barack Obama playing a bigger role in the campaign, but of course, Obamagate is now a live issue with the Republicans finally hitting back. And this is where you've looked at this absolute scandal, really, when we've had more than 3 years of the whole Russiagate scandal and all the investigations and allegations that Donald Trump was a stooge for Russia. It all came to nothing, of course. But the probe was set up. The probe was set up during the dying days of Barack Obama's administration, turning the American intelligence forces into examining the incoming president. This is scandalous. Do you think it's going to play a big role in the lead up to the election?
It really is such a scandal, and the more that is uncovered about what the Obama administration was doing, the more criminal it looks. Barack Obama turned spying on American citizens into an art form during his 8 years. It went right back to, I don't know if you remember, the Internal Revenue Service, their tax office, investigating conservative groups. And now we find that in that almost 3-month period, extraordinarily long period that occurs in presidential transitions between the November 8, 2016 election of Donald Trump and then the January 20 inauguration, that's a lot of time for Obama and his people, all the president's men and women, to get together and plant landmines for the incoming administration. And what they did most particularly that we've seen in various documents that have been declassified in the last 2 weeks is they set up a spying operation against Donald Trump's national security advisor, or putative, General Michael Flynn. And the premise being, of course, that Donald Trump was a Russian spy, he was an asset for Vladimir Putin, and so was Michael Flynn, General Michael Flynn.